Wow, sometimes you can find some interesting little horror movies on Netflix. Kristy stars Haley Bennett, Ashley Greene, and is directed by Oliver Blackburn. You know, if it wasn't for my awesome subscribers, I wouldn't know about half of the movies that I watch. And I gotta give a shout out to Amanda from AestheticStar. I'll put a link to her channel, but she recommended a movie called Kristy. And it's kind of a slasher, almost home invasion, except it takes place in a college campus. And it's on Netflix. So I was happy. I love slasher movies. You know, I even like some bad slasher movies, I have to admit. But this one I was actually pleasantly surprised by. So Kristy takes place during Thanksgiving. And finally, I found a movie that takes place during Thanksgiving that I actually enjoyed. And as we all know, during Thanksgiving, all the students, they go home to spend time with their families. And there's usually one or two students that are left at the college. And that is the case with this. Justine, for whatever reason, she doesn't go home for Thanksgiving. She can't afford a plane ticket, so she basically stays at the college. And for the most part, she's by herself. It's really just her and a security guard and a caretaker. But as we find out right at the beginning of this movie, there is this cult. They're almost like terrorists. And they target pure, blessed, and fortunate, usually girls. They really don't give a reason why they kill them, but they're definitely keeping score, and every time they kill somebody, they post it on the internet. This premise kind of reminded me of The Purge a little bit. It just kind of felt like The Purge, even though the premise is different, because these are factions that are spread really all over the country. So this is just one particular faction in this movie. So however this ends up, it's still going on at other parts of the country. And I was a little skeptical going into this because A, I had never really even heard of this movie, and B, it is a horror movie, and horror is my favorite genre, but unfortunately, there are more bad horror movies than there are good ones. And I'd say the first like 30 minutes, the buildup of this movie, is kind of the toughest part to get through because it is kind of cliche, but once it kicks into gear, it never lets up, and you are with it up until the very end. And one thing I really enjoyed about this movie is, for the most part, the characters are not dumb, especially the character of Justine. And everything that happens to Justine within this movie, if it's something that you question, they give a reason for it, and I like that. Oliver Blackburn, he did his homework in this movie. The script is handled very carefully, I think. Also, there's not just one killer in this movie, and that's not a spoiler. That's established right at the beginning. There are actually 4. You got 3 males and 1 female played by Ashley Greene. And even Ashley Greene is pretty creepy. But the biggest thing I really enjoyed about this movie, thank God, was the final girl, Justine. And in the beginning, like I said earlier, she feels like, you know, the cliche final girl. She feels like just a full-fledged victim. But then she gets put in a situation where it's fight or flight, and she has to figure out how to survive. And really, it's believable. If you got a brain in your head and you got a will to survive, you'd be amazed at what you can think up to get out of this type of situation. Because they don't make her like Rambo, kind of like they did in You're Next. You know, she didn't grow up at a survival school or anything like that. She's just a normal college student, but she is smart, she is resourceful, and she uses that to her advantage. So every time she went head to head with one of these guys, I bought it. I wasn't like, oh, there's no way that would ever happen. And most importantly, it was highly entertaining. As far as any cons, I'd say the killers, there's nothing too interesting about the killers, but they do their part. Are they gonna be like slasher icons? No, they're not. But Kristy is definitely a good way to pass 2 hours on a Saturday evening. So if you're a horror fan, I'd say definitely check this out. Oh guys, I forgot to give a rating for Kristy. My rating would definitely be a high Humdrum, because I don't know if you'd want to buy it, but like I said, it's a good horror movie. So yeah, that's my rating. And also, before I go, I want to give a shout out to one of my good buddies at M4 Movies. Definitely check out his channel. He's been a good movie friend in our movie community. He's always there. He's always giving his opinions on things, and he's just an all-around good guy. So I wanted to give a shout out to his channel. I'll put a link to it below. Definitely check out his channel. So anyway, guys, that is my review for Kristy. What are your thoughts? Looking forward to hearing them. And you have no excuse. It's on Netflix, so go watch it right now. Let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And Drumdum out.